Hey, what's up? Big Earl, Northtownsound, part 2 on Ariana. Ready to roll on here. So I got some parts ordered, I made some decisions, and I feel like I'm going to do some work this weekend, so I'm going to do some neck work right now. But just going to quickly show what I ended up deciding to do over here. So, figured out what I got to do with the bridge here after doing a lot of measuring and poking around. Originally I was thinking about chopping down a fender style bridge or something, but that's not going to work. I'm going to have to go with a wraparound of some sort. Because I got foobarred on something here. Well, not really foobarred, but I should have known this. So there's a lot of depth there. Almost to the point where I may have to go with something like this. Even though badass bridges, oh man, don't even get me started on them. Lack of sustain, but whatever. Because of the height issues. This might be a hair high, but we're going to figure it out anyways. This angled back neck is going to kill me here. And I'm going to show you what the problem is going to be. So there's the neck pocket. Just for fun, I did a quick little shave here with Mr. Chisel. This is definitely a couple of pieces of mahogany slapped together upon further inspection. It's not ply, it is mahogany. This is an angled neck pocket, so it's higher over here than it is over here. I doubt this is going to show it. It's hard to see, but it's there. Now, in order to put a fender style bridge on here, I would have to flatten this out somehow. So I'd either have to ramp it down, and there's not a lot of wood there. So that's going to run into some structural problems. I could have taken it off at the back of the neck, but again, I'd have to take off too much. It's almost a 16th that I'd have to ramp it back, which is a little tight for me on something like this. And if I were going to shim this flush, which hopefully I can do one-handed. Holy crap, I did. That would be the gap. So that's quite a wedge I got to put in there. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm hooped. I'm going to have to go with a wraparound of some sort on here instead, which it's going to look okay if I got it the right way around. It's going to look okay and it's going to function okay. It's just, oh, these are such a pain to put on. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted a fender style bridge, was just in case I louse it up, you got a lot more saddle play. Now, like I said, worst comes to worst, I got this kicking around. This will give me that, but this might be just a hair too high. So I might have to do some flipping around there. But I've actually got a couple of wraparound bridges. I've got the studs. So I'm thinking this weekend I'm waiting on parts that are going to take forever, I'm sure, because I opted for mail, trying to get around those customs bastards. So before I go through this nightmare, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up this neck and do a little bit of work on it. So I got to clean it, get rid of the schmutz. It needs a little bit of fret dressing on it, and I got this ding on the back I got to deal with. I got a ding here that's right into the wood. That's a really bad spot for it too, right at the 5th fret. Got a couple of minor ones, which I might have to touch up, I don't know. There's a couple on the peg head too, which is good. These are going to be my testers. So I'm going to try to steam this out, which is just to raise it up. What you basically need is water, some sort of cloth, and a heating source. This works so much better with a chisel tip soldering gun, but mine just died. So I found this old beater, I'm going to try her out. So, folded over piece of paper towel that's wet on the top side and just soaked through on the bottom. And get some heat going on it. We'll take a few passes. Oh, did a great job cleaning this thing last time I used it. I don't even know where this one came from. It's coming. It takes a while, especially if you have the wrong kind of soldering iron. And there we go. Might be impossible to tell with my crappy iPod camera thing here. I brought this back up. This was going down probably about 2 mil. God, my fingers are in bad shape. It's now even with the rest of the wood. That was about 5 minutes worth of steam in there. So now I just got to touch this up a bit, which could be a little bit fun to do one-handed, but we can. So I'm just going to give it a quick little sand. It's about 600 grit. Give me a sec. So it was just a little kiss sand, smooth that off a little bit there. So now it's cleaned up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch this up, and we're going to go the old-fashioned can't get products that you want way. We're going to etch this a bit, and then we're going to touch it up. So we're going to etch it a bit with a little bit of acetone. Dollar store acetone, that's all nail polish remover is. Just to break the finish just a hair. Maybe just a little bit more. Get a nice whiff of that in. Yeah. Wow. I dig that. These old poly finishes they were using back in the 70s, you gotta watch how much acetone you use. Actually really melted quite a bit in there, which is cool. And now we're going to touch it up with a little bit of clear coat. So I could go out, buy a quart of some poly, or we could do it old school. Clear nail polish. There's a goober in my dollar store nail polish. What the hell is that? Oh my gosh. Let's touch it up.
Life expectancy, which is 7 years short, and the prospect to earn only half as much.
And I might have to do a couple of passes like that, build it up, and then I can just kiss sand it back. Yeah, okay. Anything that's worth money, would you want to do it that way? Maybe not, but remember, the tuners give it away. This ain't bucks. This is about playability. And that's going to be very visible too. Like I care. It's kind of cool how the crack opened up beside it too. Neat. So while the first coat's drying, I'm going to start working on the fretboard here. I put this thing on the strap last night. It's really comfortable. It blew my mind, but there's some goopiness on this fretboard. I think actually there's a shine. You can see it. I think they use like pledge on this or something. Oh, I hate when they do that. So, we're going to start with simple green. I'm going to scrub it out, and I'm going to do an initial scrub, so let's see what we can do. Look at this, live action. Ooh, exciting. Just going to start with, you can use like a nail brush. This is softer. Kind of good for doing stuff like this. Ew, look at that. Nasty. This stuff is green in the bottle and it's coming off puke colored brown. Yum. Ew. I think this thing had an accident. Ew. This is why you should clean your fretboards every now and again. This is the occupational hazard of dealing with a project guitar. Yeah. Pass 3. had a nickel for every time I've had to do this in my life. Yeesh. I had a guitar once that I picked up, fix up and sell, and I'm not kidding you, I think Buddy waxed the fretboard on it. It was a rosewood board, and it was like covered in wax. I had to take a razor to it. Oh man. Well, it's not quite so brown, except for, why is it so dirty down here? It's not like anybody ever played this thing up here. Yeesh. Okay, I'm gonna continue cleaning this here, but I'm gonna swap. I keep saying old school. We're going old school. We're gonna hit it with some lighter fluid. See if that helps. Scrub it off with Mr. Toothbrush. And if that doesn't work, I hope I'm not reduced to this. People are gonna scream at me for that, but man, bon ami. Is there an English side? Hey, there is. This ain't Windex. This doesn't leave residue. But this is for like really horrific cases. Hopefully this will do it. Acetone, now lighter fluid, man. I'm tripping balls here. Oh yeah. Well, that was unpleasant. That's quite a pile. Ew. I didn't have to hit the bone of me though. I was able to get with some lighter fluid, so there we go. So that's just gorgeous. Yum. So I'm gonna clean up this mess and we're gonna address these frets, I guess. If you saw my video about RD with me dealing with the frets on that, I said I love rosewood boards, especially on cheap guitars, because sandpaper, and go for it, because there's ways of touching this up. But this one I probably won't. I'm just going to hit this with some light grades, some 600, maybe some 12 at the end. And the other advantage is you can go in here, touch that up too if you need to. Fun, fun, fun. But at least you can go nice and simple. Again, 30 bucks for this. So if there's a little bit of marking on the fretboard, it's not going to affect much. There is like very little fretwork on this. So it's one of the other things I kind of figured out with this. This is going to be much more of a rhythm instrument, I think. I'm going to be bending on this at all. So who cares? So a couple of quick passes, clean it off with some isopropyl. While that's drying, get ready for the next bit. And again, Barkeep's friend. Love that stuff. Love this stuff. I wish I knew about this like about 20 years ago. Yeesh. Too much of it, but start polishing it up, and it polishes the fretboard at the same time. Ready? That was clean just a second ago. Let's do it on that piece there. Nice and clean. That's just on the fret pretty well. Goober. A little bit off the fretboard. Fun, fun, fun. Okay. So, we got the polish done. Still a couple little divots on some of these frets. I don't think it's going to matter. Might have to touch up the dressing once I get everything done, but we'll see. And now we're going to go through and we'll oil up the fretboard. Pure lemon oil. Let's see how much this sucks up. So I'm going to guarantee you this is probably going to suck up a lot. For the 80,000th time, I'm in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. This is not the friendliest climb for guitars. You got a furnace on, like, 5-6 months out of the year. Everything just dries to snot. So I'm willing to bet you this guy probably hasn't been oiled in years. No residue left. I actually cleaned that really well. I'm impressed. So we'll see how quickly that gets sucked up. Oh, right on. More fumes to sniff on, man. Got some on the rag. Any place where there's exposed wood on something this old, I like to just kind of touch up with a little bit of lemon oil. Just preventative medicine. I don't know if it honestly does anything, but just suits my paranoia. And actually, it soaked up pretty evenly. It wasn't too bad. There's a few little goober spots, but I mean, nothing major. It's in here. Most of this is wear, but that's minor. Again, divots on the frets, we'll deal with later. But I mean, it's all good right now, so I think we're good to go there. The divot on the back, I'm at 4 coats on here. This whole process was like an hour. So it's still a little bit tacky. I'm going to let this dry overnight. It feels like it's pretty well flushed, so I just got to sand that smooth. It's going to be obvious, but you're not going to feel it, which is great. So till the parts come, that's the work on the neck done for now. So the next part will be obviously working on this body, which is going to be cleaning it. I'm not going to do a video on that because who cares? It's not that exciting, I know. This wasn't exciting. This really won't be exciting. Couple of chips and stuff I might just sand so they're kind of smooth and I'm not catching myself on them. But yeah. So that's going to be the next bit. And then this weekend if the weather holds, because it keeps going back and forth between hot and it's just pissing rain right now. I got to get on the bridge. Oh boy, wish me luck. So anyways, there you go. Ariana, part 2 done. Big Earl, Northtownsound. Later.